After the 2020 election, Donald Trump was swiftly removed from social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for ridiculous reasons. Not many people took note of it in Canada, but it certainly created a demand for additional alternative platforms in the United States. Gab and Parler did exist at the time, but Parler was caught by surprise and kicked off their servers by Amazon, which really killed their momentum. Most were expecting a Trump-owned platform to spring up, but what they got was something called From the Desk of Donald Trump, which acted more as a blog. This past week, however, a new platform sprung up called GETTR from a former senior Trump advisor. So many people are wondering what exactly makes GETTR different. Now that Trump advisor is Jason Miller, Newsmax contributor and CEO of GETTR. Jason, thanks for coming on with me here today. How are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
Let's quickly jump into what makes GETTR better than Twitter or Parler, for example, or any other platform. Why should people go ahead and sign up?
Well, I think it starts with our mission statement, the fact that we are a marketplace of ideas. Our goal is to give people a censorship-free, non-deplatforming environment to go and express your political views and opinions, knowing that you're not going to get kicked off for saying something as simple as you think that there's voter fraud, or that there's that you think that hydroxychloroquine might work, which is unfortunately what we saw with the number of conservatives in the U.S., but even more globally, even going way beyond the U.S., we think that anyone who believes in the right to free speech and anyone who believes that we need to stop with this cancel culture nonsense is someone we invite to our platform from any political affiliation, any political ideology, any country, quite frankly.
Now, does GETTR, I think a lot of people want to know, have an algorithm of sorts that changes the feed from chronological order or ranks, boosts, deboosts, anything of that nature for any of its content?
So there's no algorithm that goes through and shadow bans anybody or that goes through and hides certain things the way that we've seen with some of the other platforms. So there's none of that that's in place. Obviously, there are a lot of exciting people to go and follow, whether it be Secretary Pompeo, whether it be Dinesh D'Souza. You look at a number of leading conservative voices. We also have a number of members of Congress that are starting to jump on. We even have the son of President Bolsonaro from Brazil, who recently joined the platform. So there's a lot of energy and excitement right now.
Now, a lot of things that are happening on other platforms, like famously Parler lost its servers. I think that killed a lot of its momentum that it had at the time. It's slowly getting back there. It still has trouble working for me where I am in Canada. How is GETTR going to prevent itself from being deplatformed in a sense?
Yeah, good question. So really kind of a two-pronged approach. One is to make sure we have a robust moderation policy, working with both AI system as well. I believe in free speech, but obviously free speech goes up to the point where it infringes on somebody else's rights. And so, for example, we would reject wholeheartedly people who are threatening violence or people who are using racial epithets. I mean, that's where it goes beyond your free speech and where you're harming another person. But for your political rights, we believe that you should have a platform such as GETTR to get on and be able to use. So we use both the AI and human moderation combo, and having that proactive, robust strategy, I think will really help. But we also have redundancies and backups. And so if, for example, one of the woke companies that we're working with decided to try to deplatform us, then we have redundancies as a backup.
Now, it's in its early stages. I'm already on it. Is there any unique features that you're planning on that we can expect coming? Something that's going to, really surprise people? Or are we just going for a place where you can, really just share your opinions without being afraid of being deplatformed?
No, this is really just the beginning. We're going to be adding on, in addition to the 777 character posts, the 3-minute videos, being able to import all of your tweets. We're going to be moving forward with online appreciation and tipping. So, for example, if you're a content creator, if you're someone who, for example, makes a lot of money from whether it's videos or doing different memes or posting articles, there'll be a way for users to go and reward you financially with a simple hit of a button, so they can go and it's almost like giving them a tip. So we think that'll bring a lot of content creators to the platform. So we're excited about that. They'll be coming on board this next quarter here. Also, same thing for political candidates. I know candidates hate to get out there and say, and beg essentially for money and by putting in various links and such. We're going to have it where it's a very quick, accessible, where you can donate to politicians. It might just be you see a post that they like on GETTR and you want to go and contribute to them. So we're going to make that easy. We're going to have a live streaming feature that comes in. We're adding a whole bunch bunch of new languages. My chief technology officer just dropped me a note saying that we just added German, which is fantastic. And I know Portuguese is coming online in a matter of just a couple of days here. So this is truly a global platform.
No, I think that's really important to have the tipping and the live stream feature. That's pretty exciting. Now, Jason, I want to be fair, and when I mentioned that I had GETTR, I did the whole thing that I shared on Twitter and everything. A couple of the criticisms I heard from people signing up the first day is that they think that they're still going to be banning. So I want to show something from the actual terms and conditions from the GETTR page, if we can throw that up. And here's what it says. And admittedly, of course, it makes a point to promote freedom of speech and essentially says you can't break the law, which is what I think most social media platforms should go with. But it says we reserve the right in our sole discretion to remove your profile or deny, restrict, suspend, or terminate your access to all or any part of the interactive community for any reason. Now, is there any reason that you can think of or anything that other than harassment or breaking the law that someone might be suspended or banned for?
I think kind of a common sense and easy way to think about it, or if it's going to get you in trouble in regular life. So, for example, if you walked into a convenience store and threatened someone with physical harm, there would be consequences to that. Aside, that's the courts have clearly shown that that's not a First Amendment right to go and threaten somebody. If to go in, we don't want people to come onto the platform and make racial epithets or racial slurs. We think that's not inviting to the spirit of free speech and political debate, and also suggesting that somebody commits self-harm. We know, or in this tape, for example, this might not get us Kathy Griffin. She might not want to come and join the platform, but if you were to post a picture of a beheading, that would probably be something that would get you removed from the platform. So sorry, Kathy, but hey, if you can behave, welcome to the platform. We want you. Just no beheading pictures.
I think that's fair. I really, really appreciate you answering that question. A lot of people wanted me to ask that. My last question, I think, is the $1 million or $1 billion question and seems inevitable for all social platforms. Will you or do you plan on including embedded ads on GETTR?
At some point, I would imagine we'll probably have ads. I think it's probably going to be in early next year, maybe Q4 of this year. The one thing that we've made a pledge and a commitment, though, is that we're not going to sell any user data. This is a big differential, and I don't think a lot of folks realize just how much of their data from some of the social media competitors that are out there is being sold to various companies, or, as we've seen in a few places, given to foreign governments. And that is a big concern. You have our commitment that we will never sell or share any data or any who you're following or any of your posts. Or right now, the only thing we collect are an email address and the year of birth to make sure that someone's over the age of 16 when they're joining the platform. But no data from us will ever be shared with anyone else. You have our commitment on that.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Jason. I appreciate your honesty on those questions. I signed up. I hope this in some way creates a better environment than Twitter or Facebook has created for people in terms of political discourse. I'm excited for things that, to come in the future, and thanks a lot for coming on.
Hey, I love what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos, and go to rebelnewsstore.com where we have plenty of merch you might want to check out.